weeks. Because right now, all that verbal commitment really means is you got a chance to get it. Because I promise you, don't nobody quit recruiting.
Postseason, do you like the way it is right now, or would you like to see some sort of play at the end of the year?
I don't know. I'm probably a little different because I was in a Georgia Southern 5 years where they played it off, and I like that. I think that it was good. It was fun. But I think that there's ways we can tweak what we're doing. Certainly, you wouldn't have had 1 versus 2 if you didn't have the BCS the last few years. And the one thing I think that would help out is not have preseason polls. Or maybe have the first poll 3 games into the year, because it's unfair to start teams at the top, and then they've got a huge advantage if they lose as opposed to somebody who starts at number 12 and loses. They got no chance to ever get back up.
What's it like to take over a program that's not? Did you ever feel you'd get your big break with a program that's already kind of there? In other words, you're not taking over a program that was 1 and 10,
right?
2 or 11.
Honestly, I never thought about it. I mean, I've always, people say that you're full of crap, but I never worried about the next job or moving up or looking for another job. I just never did. I've always felt like that if you did a good job where you were at, it'd take care of itself. And, I was as happy as a pig in slop at Georgia Southern. I mean, I could have stayed there for whatever. I love living there. We had a great time. People at Navy convinced me that was something that I needed to take a look at. Initially, I didn't, and then when I got there, I'd have been happy coaching there until I quit. But when I had the opportunity at Tech, I'm like, okay, this seems like a good opportunity, and we'll go. But it's not something that I can't wait to get to this league or that league or whatever. I just never worried about it.
Where do you think, a year ago, 2 years ago, they were in the title game? Where do you think you guys are at?
I don't know. Everybody talks about cliches. We're really young. We have 14 scholarship seniors. There's a good chance on offense. We could start a sophomore quarterback, sophomore running back, freshman A-back. The other one could be a true freshman. 2 sophomore wide receivers. So we're going to be pretty young. I think we've got some ability. But, so we'll see. I'll know where we're at after 4 or 5 games.
You obviously know all the culture of football in Georgia and familiar with it from various angles. Has anything about it from the Georgia Tech perspective surprised you? Is it any different?
No, football's important in the South and in Georgia. And I knew that coming in. And, we've had good support from our administration. Dan's been very supportive. And I think there's some excitement. I think there's a buzz in our fan base. And, looking forward to just getting started and going out there and seeing what happens.
With all the talk surrounding the offense, how lost can the defense get?
Well, it'll be interesting. I hope they won't be real lost when we start playing. But that remains to be seen. I think that if there's one area on the football team that should be a strength for us, it should be the defensive line. Because there we do have some guys who have played and some older guys. I think our front four can be really special. So I'm anxious to see them, play against somebody other than ourselves.
There's been a lot of talk about here in the last day or so about the change in philosophy. We won't be bringing 15 guys a snap. It'll be more of a setup for what discussions have you and Dave had about the defense and the philosophy and how it's going to be built from game 1 to game 14?
Well, my take on that is when I hire somebody to come in and do a job, I want to give them some leeway to do it. As we get closer to playing the first game, certainly I've got a handle on what we're doing, but we'll sit down on Tuesday of game week and, okay, here's the plan, and I'll have 3 or 4 questions. Well, how do we plan on doing this, or what do you plan on doing to stop this? And then I'll let them coach, and I think that we're going to be multiple on defense. John did a really good job with his zone pressure schemes, and they were either very effective or not so effective. There wasn't much middle ground.
Right.
But we'll do some of that, but we'll probably have a few more variables. I mean, we'll play some more man covers than they play. They very seldom played any man covers, so that'll be different for our guys, and I think they're excited about that.
Paul, you mentioned the talk about the offensive system is overblown. Does it frustrate you that it gets talked about as much as it does in that regard?
Can't wait till we get to play.
What does the ACC need to do to kind of stop this bowl drought that they've been in, the BCS drought they've been in?
Gosh, I don't have any idea. I just got here. Don't ask me that one.
How much have you heard about Georgia since you got here and the priority?
About every day.
To get tiresome?
No, I think that what you have to do is you give Mark a lot of credit for where they have their program, and it's up to us to get to their level. And I think that they've won several games in a row. I can look at the tape and make a case on how the games could have gone a different way a couple of times. A couple of times they just beat Tech up. So it's up to us to change it. It doesn't do any good to cry about it. You got to go out there and change it.
Other than the offense, which has gotten so much hype, what's the biggest change you tried to make in the program?
Well, I think anytime you change, there's a lot of accountability. I think that you try to change the culture a little bit. And, there's no set right way or wrong way to do things. I'm probably more along the lines of personal accountability, and I'm going to check up on it. If I give you something to do, you better do it. You're supposed to be in class, be in class. I'm going to try to make it hard on you, just like I'll give you a great difference camp. In the past, for fall camp, our guys kind of stayed wherever they were going to live during the year, and they were out or whatever, and it was like practices at 4 o'clock, be there. Well, we're going to all go to a hotel, and we'll have some bed checks, and we'll have some different stuff, and it's just a different way of doing it. It doesn't mean one's right or one's wrong, it's just different.
Paul, yesterday I was talking to Andrew and just about the installation of this offense, and he said you've been told by so many people that it won't work here that you have in your head sort of a counter argument to every point, a list of why it will work. Can you rattle that one off for me? The blow by blow on why it will work.
If you give me why you think it won't work, I will.
I mean, what do you hear? I don't have an opinion either way. What do you hear most is
all you hear is they can't give you a reason. They just say it won't work. I mean, it's like, people are too fast, I guess. Don't they put any fast people on offense? It's like, I don't know why. I don't know why people think it won't work. Maybe they're right, maybe I'm wrong. But we'll see. That's why they play the games.
What have you had to do differently in terms of personnel? I know Andrew said some of the offensive linemen were put on a weight loss program. Do you need those guys to be a little slimmer and trimmer?
You need to be able to move no matter what you do. I mean, there's a big, I don't care if we were running the NCAA offense, we had some guys that need to lose some weight and they need to get in shape. We're not going to ask guys, we're not leaning on people and laying on them. We're asking them to knock some guys off the ball and come off the ball and be able to cut off on the backside. I don't want somebody that's 6'9", that's 340 pounds, that takes 2 days to get out of this room, and just lay on somebody. So it's like, I think that was kind of where we are with that. Andrew's probably 300 pounds. That's probably a good weight for him. If guys can carry that weight and move, then that's cool. He don't need to be 270. There were other guys that were 300 that need to be 280 because they can't move at 300.
Did you encounter any resistance from the current players when you got there that were used to playing a different sort of offense? Maybe the upperclassmen going into their last year and make such a drastic change?
Not really. It's not a democracy, so I really didn't ask their opinion.
I mean, I know you had guys that said, I don't think I want to do this.
Well, we had a tight end who left. We had a quarterback who left. We did have an offensive lineman who left after spring practice. I don't think it will matter what you do.